Unit 1, Lesson 4, 4th grade math. Lesson 4 is going to happen on Monday, August 26th. And your focus is 4.08.4, which is finding all factor pairs in a whole number. And then using that understanding of what the factor pairs are to determine if a given number is prime or composite. Your aim today is to identify prime and composite numbers by creating factor rainbows, trees, and determining if a number has 2 or more factors. If it's exactly 2 factors, it's prime, and if it's greater than 2 factors, it's composite. What's tricky about this today is, one, they might not be great at factoring. If that's the case, it's going to be particularly challenging if you've not built a strong foundation over the last 2 days. So hopefully you have. The second is they can easily invert prime and composite understanding, so creating a really strong visual anchor and multiple at-bats at saying prime and composite in the corresponding understanding. And then lastly, thinking that all numbers that are prime are odd and all numbers that are even are composite, and so that will be just a small thing to go after. A prime number is a number with exactly 2 factors, one in itself. And a composite number is a number with more than 2 factors. And this is a really strong question that you're going to build in multiple times. I asked myself, how many factors does this number have? If it has exactly 2, it's prime. If it has more than 2, it's composite. This is literally the crux of your whole lesson. Fix this and fix the arc, but this is a strong CFS. And you have to build in the space for you to get kids talking. If you don't get them talking, they won't understand how to write an exemplar student response. Missing annotations a big problem, but understanding that it's composite because it has more than 2, and understanding that it's prime because it has exactly 2. My push for your visual anchor here is to actually shift it to be the thinking question right below. Think, how many factors does this number have? Question mark. And then up above, prime, composite, and then we'll go with the number 19 for prime, the number 18 for composite, because this actually comes from the lesson plan itself, and then definition, and then this is just 1 and 19, so it's exactly 2. This is 1, 18, 2, 9, 3, 6, and again, if you've built that understanding, they'll be able to see that this is 2 factors or 1 factor pair. This is 6 factors, or actually 6 factor pairs. This note, the number 1 is neither prime or composite because it has only 1 factor itself. You'll have to build in somewhere on here. I like the simplicity of this. Please make sure you read, heavily annotate, go through, grapple with, and understand what they're actually driving towards. Achievement First wrote this and they spent some time on it. After you finish your INM, make sure you consolidate the learning. Why are 12 and 36 composite and why was 19 prime? Making sure that they can say that rationale. Jump right into the workshop for 10 minutes. Procedural lab, conceptual lab. You need to have a tracker in hand, pen in hand. Check for understandings. Mid-workshop interruption, about 6 minutes in, I'd say, check out these 2 kids' work. They drew really beautiful factor rainbows, factor trees, and counted the factors to determine if. This is just re-solidifying, and then this must happen. The moment your workshop is done, discussion must happen for 5 minutes. Turn and talk. What about the number 1? Is 1 prime or composite? Give students time to discuss and make factor rainbows. That's right, it's special because it's neither prime nor composite. It actually only has 1 factor. And then 15 to 20 minutes IP, and then 5, this is a 10-minute exit ticket closing for that day. All right, so this is the how to do the math as an adult. As a teacher, you have to hit the questioning sequence that comes within this packet. As a teacher, I would say, read the problem, go after it, try it, and then I would build that space in to show call multiple pieces of work. Annotations today, big problem. All right, Mr. Cabell teaches 2 different math classes. His first class is 18 scholars, second class is 19 scholars. If you want to create equal groups in each class, what are the different combinations of groups you could create? Different combos in both classes. Task 1, find combos in 18 class. Task 2, find combos in 19 class. My representation is going to be class 1 equals 18, class 2 equals 19, and maybe I'll start with an array of 2 by 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and then this one it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then maybe put a question mark next to them for like what are the other types. My solving for the day is going to come with 2 T-charts, 18, and I'm going to label that class 1, and 19, class 2. 1 times 18 gives me 18. 2 times what? 9. 3 times what? 6. 4 times nothing. 5 times nothing. And then I'm back at 6 again, so I'm done. These are my factors. 1 times 19. 2 doesn't work. 3 doesn't work. 4 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. 6 doesn't work. 7 doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. And I'm going to keep going to check until I get to the midway point. Complete sentence answer. The class 1 with 18 has 1 and 18, and 18 and 2 has 6 combos. The class 2 with 19 has only 2. But this is where the new teaching happens. So at the end of this, use stamp. Here's what's so cool. Class 1 is actually a composite, and class 2 is actually prime. This is composite because it has more than 2 factors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Class 2 is prime because it is exactly 2 factors. I'm not saying factor pairs, I'm saying factors. These are the factors. Great. Now, is this prime or composite? Is this prime or composite? Is this prime or composite? And how do you know? This is composite because it has more than 2 factors. This is prime because it has exactly 2 factors. This is composite because it has more than 2 factors. And then building that in. Workshop, I'd use this as your discussion question because the word ways is really confusing. Independent practice. And then ending up with the weird boat problem that they've never taken away, but it's confusing, and equal groups of trucks.